I could reach the stars, pull one down for you, shine it on my heart, so you could see the truth. That there's a love I have inside is everything it seems. But for now I find it's only in my dreams where I can change the world. I will be the sunlight in your universe. You would think my love is really something good, baby, if I could change the world. Yeah, the voice is amazing, Joey. Good morning, Monica. If I could be king, even for a day, I'll take you as my queen. Good morning, Vegas. I'll have it no other way. Other way. And our love will rule this kingdom we have made. Till then I'll be your fool, wishing for the day that I can change the world. Yeah, I will be the sunlight in your universe. You would think my That's right, Jeff. Really something good, baby, listen to the captain. If I could change the world. We can all change the world. If I could change the world. If I could change my mind, I can change the world. Right on, Monica. Something good, baby, if I could change the world, baby, if I could change my mind, baby, if I could change my mind. The world. One more. One more. This right here, I have to admit, it's in my top 5 favorite songs of all time. Especially when Eric does it, but we can't copyright violate, so we do a cover. But this song, forget about it. Forget about it, romantic. Forget about how hot this song is. It's late in the evening. She's wondering what clothes to wear. She puts on her makeup, brushes her long brown hair, and she asks me, do I look alright? And I say yes, you look wonderful tonight. Go to a party and everyone stares at me. A beautiful lady is walking around with me. And then I ask her, do you feel alright? Absolutely, Sharon. I say yes, I look wonderful tonight. This song, come on. feel wonderful because I feel love that's in your eyes. And the wonder all along is that you just don't realize how much I love you.
It's time to go home now, and I've got an aching head. So I give her the car keys. She helps me to bed,
Helps me to bed.
and then I tell her
And I
as I
do
turn
that a
the
light.
I say, my darling, you are wonderful tonight. Oh, my
Darling, you are wonderful tonight. Beautiful morning, everybody. Beautiful morning. Good morning, T Crew. How do you like that? Good morning. I'm like a little weepy. I got a little weepy. Hold on. I want to show one more thing to you guys this morning. Okay? Give me 1 second while I get this queued up. Let me cue this up. Oh, I'm a little weepy. Yeah, that was a good song. Good morning. Good morning. I love you guys. Why am I love songing this morning? I'm not sure. But gosh darn, Eric Clapton's cool, right? Gosh, did he write some beautiful songs? Wait for this. This is gonna, if this I hope this cracks you guys up as much as it cracked me up. Okay, here we go. I love you too, Mikey Brown. I love this. I love life, man. We're living a beautiful life. We're living one beautiful life. Okay, watch this.
A white name is a verb. You know what I'm saying? Like Chip, Chuck, Bob, Neil, Skip, Chase, Dustin,
That's a good one.
Mark, Rob. Even the girls, Carrie, Rose. A white name is a verb.
A white name is a verb.
You know what I'm saying? Like Chip.
Okay, that was pretty funny. That's our morning funny. Let's look at that. White name is a verb. Humor's so beautiful. Can we, with gosh darn it, what would we do without humor? I have some stuff to talk about this morning, you guys. Hold on. Let me get the background music right. Hold everything. We have stuff to talk about this morning. Yesterday, Do you guys remember early? I mean, in the program yesterday, we were weighing those thrashers here, that thrasher fruit, boop, putting it on the scale and this and that. And then I would take them and I'd put it in my little counter behind me or somewhere. And I don't know if you guys remember, but I was fumbling around here yesterday and looking on the floor and looking around. It was live while we were live. And I'd lost something. It seemed like I had lost something. And then I had to shoot over to the dose counter and grab another one. I don't know if you guys remember that happening. I sure do. Ruff remembers it. Because what I couldn't find on the floor, Ruff had found live. So my lesson, this is the second time this has happened. If I don't pick something up pretty fast, he can go in there and he can snatch at it. Now it seems like I was having fun with it, and in a way I was, but I had to also, listen, Ruff the Retriever, Jeffy, I had to educate myself yesterday. Is it okay for a dog to have psilocybin? What did you do to your dog, Pops? The same thing you did to your owl. No, my owl I accidentally did that. Remember I gave my owl a poisoned mouse and it killed him? 3 days later, he fell off the branch. I was destroyed for probably 2 to 3 weeks. So yesterday, we're not supposed to, here's the truth. You're not supposed to dose dogs. Not a good idea. Bad idea, actually. The major reason for it, okay, this is research pops. The major reason for it is we don't know what they're experiencing. They can't communicate it to us. We can't understand from them, how are they experiencing this? Is this a good trip or a bad trip? If I can have a good trip, I think an animal can have a good trip. If I can have a bad trip, I think an animal can have a bad trip. Kimberly's like, don't worry about it. Ruff will host the show next week. Darn it, that's funny. But I was nervous. First of all, it was the lucky thing is he didn't take that much. But again, you're talking smaller scale creature. What's that much? We don't know, so it's not even smart for us to even give him this much. Even though it's fun and it looks fun, and it did. I'll be honest with you, at the end of the day, I'm not having a lot of guilt or worry because we watched him very, very closely. He was having a good time. He actually had a little personal party, and then we played with them and got as much out of his system as took him for the longest walk you've ever seen. He kept pulling on the chain. He was like, this guy definitely got dosed. There's a part of it that's fascinating. Let me be honest with you as a scientist. This medicine stuff works. Don't kid yourself. A little fibers from a plant, from fungus, little fibrous fungus, even a rando animal gets a hold of it and they're, oh, geez, what the? You know what his biggest thing was? You know what his biggest symptom was? Vocalization. They call it, I'm looking up, what are the symptoms? They'll vocalize. When you want to worry, this is true. When you want to worry, yeah, you're doing research all the time, Kim. It was really literally because it was observational research. When we want to worry is when they're howling or yelping. Get a hold of a vet. See what you can do about maybe expressing that. You don't know how much they took. Oftentimes, we don't know how much they took. Here's the crazy thing about it, though. Anecdotally, this is what we're experiencing. This is stuff I've read, because I'm reading everything I can about dogs and psilocybin last night. Now I'm like a dog psilocybin expert. The one thing I know, don't do it. Don't do it. Be very careful. Put your psychedelics away so your animals don't get them. Okay? Anything under 18 right now, I'd worry about. I wouldn't be dealing with that right now. That's me. Psychedelics, like my dose counter, here's what they found out, research. Even though it seems like the dog may not have even enjoyed it, they come back the next day, can I have that again? I'd like that some more, please. When they throw up, that's when you worry. They have a natural ability to get rid of the poison that's in them. Never has a dog been known to have major medical issues or die or anything like that as a result of ingesting mushrooms, according to the literature that I've read. But I wanted to say, hey, it was clear. I posted it on IG yesterday. At first, it was like, this is funny. Look at Ruff, not Brock. Look at Ruff running around barking and funny. And then I'm thinking, that's not responsible, Pops. You're just looking at the symptom. What do you know about this? A, you let it happen. B, this is a cherished creature that you own and are responsible for. What did you do to it? Look into it. And then now I have a responsibility to tell all you guys that I shouldn't have done that. Well, it was an accident that the fruit dropped. But the message is, be really careful. Well, a little bit. He had about a half a gram total. We figured it out, Brock and I. He probably had about a half a gram. Way enough to get him activated. Way enough. He snoots around the floor looking for more. I'm telling you. It's not a good idea. At the end of the day, medically, veterinarianly, not a good idea. And take that example from Pops. I heard somebody wrote to me, goes, I dose my dog every week. Okay. I'll look into that before you do that again. Okay? So that's Pops learning lessons. If you guys ever see me drop something on the tea program here again, in the middle of the show, say, Pop, stop, whatever you're doing. Fix that. I have a minor rant. I'm only going to spend about 3 or 4 minutes on this rant because I don't know everything that I'm talking about. But I do know this. Social media, I'm talking YouTube, IG, TikTok specifically. There's many of them, these user platforms. Do you know that we have it backwards? They're smart. These platforms don't exist for no reason. They certainly didn't when they designed this one that we use, YouTube. They didn't say, we can't wait for this platform to be used for people to uplift one another, teach each other how to grow medicine, and practice kindness together. That was not part of their original goal when they created this platform. The original goal for creating the platform, I'm going to tell you, I wasn't in the boardroom. But I can tell you the reasons. There's twofold. Money. They're making money. There's advertising all involved in all of this. Money. But there's another reason. Justin's almost nailed it. Data mining, data harvesting. Now, I'm not Mr. Conspiracy, I'm not. But it's all data harvesting. How come when I look something up, I get 3 more articles of the same thing that same day? They're up in here. And as a result, who's the user? You are not the user of these programs. You are being used. And we need to understand that going in. If I already have that perspective, I'm coming into this platform being used. And I know that. I'm not upset. I'm not, oh, they suck, mother. This is a program where I'm being used. I had two options. Knowing that, coming into the program. Well, actually, I have three. One, don't use it at all. Two, use it against them. Use it for good. Use it not to profit. Use it for the exact opposite of what it was programmed to be. Do a paradigm shift. You know you're going in and you know you're a paradigm shifter. If you do that, can you imagine a few more? You just need a few of us. We just need get a few paradigm shifters. We're not here to make money off of this. I don't want to monetize. I want to spread. I want to use you to use you. And I'll end with this. Thank goodness, years ago, and I was tempted 3 years ago, oh, you're never going to go far. You're never going to advertise much. You're never going to get the word out there. You're never going to, unless you use TikTok. I don't know what it was, and I'm not even taking credit for it. It's in my instinct. I never once downloaded the app TikTok. Thank God. I don't know the integrity of a lot of these social programs that I'm using for a paradigm shift. But can you imagine we're literally sitting there, our children, 18 and younger, are being programmed by TikTok, by a Chinese data harvesting company. And I'm not trying to be xenophobic. I'm not trying to be anti-anything. I'm talking about a group that doesn't have your children's best interest in mind. They have money in mind. For this next week, I have a commitment to myself. I'm going through my phone. I have a bunch of apps on there I don't need. I don't know which one of them are harvesting. The only way to keep them from data harvesting me is don't have their app on my phone. Do you think that those engineers that are sitting around, the smartest men in the world that can do computers and cellular technology and stuff, if I give them access to my phone, do you think they can't get into my contact list? I do banking on my phone. I bet you they can do this through a TikTok program. Next thing you know, the Chinese are taking money out of my bank account. I don't know. I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm saying we got to watch it. And if we're on one of these platforms and we have this on our phone, be using it for good. Well in mind how they're using it against us. Somebody called it Chinese malware that we deliberately load into our own phones. Okay? One other thought. I made a note to myself. I was watching the NCAA tournament basketball. UCLA! Final 16, right? Brock's team's in there too, Creighton. Creighton and UCLA made the Final 16. I was watching too much of it. Didn't get as much work done as I wanted. But we're watching it. And they have the pregame. They have the cameras in the locker room. Pregame. It's pretty cool. Great angles, great shots that they're taking. And I was watching this one shot. Camera at the very end of the room, the locker room. And all these young men, 18, 19, 20 years old, away from home, probably for their first time, living at a university who's responsible to take care of them, put them on the training table, give them food and a place to stay and, a little salaries. And I mean, this is all 17, 18, 19-year-old kids, and they're lined up down the side of the locker room, this side, and there's some lined up down this side, and they're all sitting there in front of their lockers, and every single kid, 15 of them, had headphones on with a little dangly-dangy down to their phone, and they're sitting there watching or doing something with their phone. Every one of them, just like this. Pre-game ritual. 15 young men. This is how we get ready for the ball game. I thought to myself, what did we do? What did we do? And I'm not trying to be old man, get off my porch. What did we do in the 20 years ago? There wasn't a cell phone in a locker room. Coach wouldn't even let you. The hell are you doing with that thing in my room? Aren't you focused on the game, young man? Etc., etc. I'm not trying to be old man on the porch. I'm just thinking about what did we do back in the old days? When we didn't have a cell phone, like that in front of. What do we do? Go anywhere. Go anywhere you see anywhere right now. I went to the car wash. 8 people sitting there waiting for their cars to get done. I put mine deliberately in my pocket and just watched everybody. Of course, later I had to get it out and answer all my texts. But gosh darn it, they're using the hell out of us. They're using the hell out of us. I want us to be really careful with that. I want us to use the hell out of them. This way. With goodness and kindness. This way. Be careful. So that was my rant. That's today's rant. And I'm not trying to be political or anything else. I'm trying to ask us to recognize these platforms that we think are wonderful and that will, we get to use this program. No, this program uses you. Until you do a paradigm shift and go, this program's using me. Now, how can I appropriate that correctly? Right? We're going to do 2 giveaways here shortly, but I also want to have another conversation, a smaller one. Flow hoods. Flow hoods. I've been recently back and forth a couple of emails with Parker here. Parker. And he had a recent situation where he used some of the liquid culture that we had sent, and he tried to colonize some plates, and every single one of them went dirty when he did it. It was an unusual event because we don't get that. People don't say that happens that often with the stuff that Sandy sends, because he does a heck of a job of making sure it's clean. And even if he hears something like that, we did hear it from Parker. He pulled everything and he's retesting it, etc. So it's nothing that Parker did wrong. It's nothing even that Sandy did wrong. This happens sometimes in mycology, where an unusual event occurs. It's never happened to me before, Pops, where I tried to colonize 5 plates and they all went south. And then I did 5 more and all 5 of those went south too. It happens. So as a mycologist, we want to do what? And this is exactly what Parker's approach was. And Sandman's too. We don't want to affix blame. That's not what we do. Oh, this is why, and then I'll start pointing fingers and let things turn upside down and backwards. What you want to do is figure out why. If you can, goon set it. Try to troubleshoot the situation. Vegas, you're like onto something there. These things are going to happen. And as a good mycologist, you're working on the solution rather than the blame. It could well be I'm seeing in a situation like that, from a scientific perspective, two major potentials. When something like that happens, this is what I suggest. Censored, you're nailing it. You guys are, I don't even need to be having this conversation with you guys. You guys know exactly what to do. You need to establish a baseline now. Let's go back and look, at our procedures. Let's look, did I do something different this time? Did I use a different product? Did I do something that I don't normally do? That's an introspective, honest question you have to ask yourself. Is my environment different this time? Because you're using the same thing from the same person who's never had a problem before. So that may not be the original issue. However, it may be. But if I'm using something from someone that I've never had a problem before and all of a sudden I have a problem, my first thought isn't it's that. My first thought is let's analyze this whole operation as well as that. And I'm going to notify that guy, hey, there's something going on here, and let him look into it too. But at your end, what would you be doing? You got to look into your situation. You're sitting there going, wow, this has never happened to me before. I trust my vendor, but it may well be because the vendors stuff happens to, and even in the mail. Here's what you end up doing. Probably one of the most important things to do, and we forget to do it a lot in mycology. Vegas already mentioned it right here. Highly recommend to you. I highly recommend to you that you test your flow hood. Test your still air box if you've been using one. Test it. Believe it or not, that medical grade filter wears out. It gets full of stuff that ends up blowing out and gets into your plates and into your liquid culture and into your jars. And you have to test your plates. You have to test your flow hood once in a while. You have to test your procedures. You have to maybe even take a video. Have somebody videotape it and send it over to somebody that knows what they're doing a little bit. A friend, just a friend. Say, hey, watch my procedure here. Is it clean? Do you know what happens? See the sleeve? See our sleeves? Sometimes, see the rest of our hand that's not covered with the plastic glove? Did you pass it over the top of the plate when you were colonized the other plate? Were you working front to back with all of your procedures only? Were you working in the proper method? These are just questions you ask yourself. And it's super important because you want your mycology work to stay clean. And it's just watch yourself. And of course, your vendor's been notified and he's looking into that. And at the end of the day, you're going to get back and go, oh, okay, well, I think we figured it out. It wasn't anything to do with this. It was definitely the OC. It wasn't anything to do with it. Wasn't that. It was definitely this. We still never quite figured it out, but it hasn't happened again. So, and that's exactly what's happening in this situation. Nobody's doing anything different. Real quick, Pops, how do I test my flow hood? It's the simplest thing in the world. I want you to get 2 plates out. 2 plates. You're going to take 1 plate. They're going to both be 2 plates side by side. You're going to take the lid off of one and you're going to set it in front of your filter. Have your filter on. You're going to take the other plate and set it outside of your filtered directed airflow area, but somewhere close by, in the same room, same environment, just not in front of the directed airflow. So you have 2 different plates. Leave them uncovered and exposed for about a minute. That's all you need to do. About a minute. Cover them both back up, label them so you don't mix them up. Put them off to the side. 24 to 48 hours, you're going to look at those plates. The one that was outside the airstream, it will show contamination. You'll start to see stuff that fell out of the sky and fell right into it. Good. You'll start seeing how dirty your air is in the room. Now look at your other plate. If your other plate's exhibiting signs of contamination, I would argue you might have an issue with your filter or the space that the filter's in. If your other one's showing no problem and it's staying clean, then you can start trusting your filter for a few more medical hours. The truth is, you're supposed to, on a flow hood, if you live in a lab, work in a lab, the laminar flow hoods at labs, you know what they have? They have logbooks. They have logbooks. If you're going to go use laminar flow hood number 1, you have to fill out the log, and the log says how long you turned it on and how long you turned it off for. And they tabulate how many hours of air has flowed through that filter. And at the end of the exact period of time, you're able to keep Streety right here. You guys don't know. Streety runs a lab. He's a partner in a lab. They keep logs on this stuff. Do I keep a log on mine? No. Should I? Yes. I should have from the day I put my first new filter in. And there's even the manufacturer tells you, this is about how many hours you can expect to run out of it. There's another factor. Are you running a pre-filter on your squirrel cage blower or whatever kind of a blower you have that's running your air through your flow hood? Is it pre-filtered? If it's not pre-filtered, you're going to have a lifetime through your original filter. So you're going to want to run a pre-filter if you can. Here we're lucky, our setup, we have a pre-filter. So it's going to extend the life of that medical grade. What's a medical grade? Look that up. It's important. Is the filter that I'm using actually a medical grade? You know what it takes to be? First of all, it takes a lot of money. Those things aren't cheap. You get what you pay for. I've seen people do it, and I'm not making fun of it. It's like this is beginning mycology, and it worked for how it works. I've seen people take a box fan and put a filter that's supposed to be used on the house heater, duct tape that on front of the box fan, sit that in front of it, and go, man, I got a flow hood going here. Okay. And they pull off a thing or two, and boy, they got a flow. That's not exactly how you want to set up a lab, but I'm not making fun of it. I don't know how medical grade air is coming through that. I don't. Matter of fact, it's probably grabbing the other air in the room and bringing it through. But some people are using them in their setups, and there's no shame in the game. There's many ways to do this stuff. But what I would do if I had the box fan with the filter taped to it, just run a test. Just run a test of it. Boom, sip in front of my box fan guy. I set this one over here next to the box fan, but not in front of it. Sure enough, it's giving me good, clean air. Go with it. But there's ways to test. And I suggest that you do that, even if you're not getting something, some kind of a lab incident. Test it on a regular basis. Okay. Right, Vegas? If it doesn't work, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. That's right. I have a top 10 list, so I can do my first giveaway of the day. We have a top 10 list. You guys ready? Now, what we're going to do with today's top 10, because it's not that hard. The top 10. Okay? That's right, Glasscron. I pre-filter it so it's less work through the HEPA filter. We're did a top 10 list. Here's how it's going to work today. We're going to ask the first three people to get the answer correct are going to move forward to the spin to win round. Okay? Because I have a feeling you're going to get an answer pretty quickly. I have a feeling because I didn't pick a really tough list. So I'm going to wait the first three people to get the answer correct. Then I'm going to kill it, and then we're going to spin to win with those first three. Okay? So here's the category. Full disclosure, we already saw one of the guys that's on this list, some of his music this morning, Eric Clapton. I didn't pick him, so don't say him. That'll be a wasted guess. Top 10 greatest guitarists of all time. Eric Clapton's number 3 on this list. I didn't pick him. Greatest guitarist of all time. I'm waiting for 3 people to say it correctly. I picked one off of this list of 10. So far, one of you has the one I picked. So far. You guys have got almost everybody that's on this list. I knew it was going to be easy. I knew this was going to be easy. Okay? I knew this was going to be easy, but so far, only one of you have picked the one that I picked. Okay? I'm still looking for a few more. I didn't pick Jimi Hendrix. I did not. Geez, so far I've only got one person. I'm ready to kill it and just give it to that one person. So far I've only seen one person have the answer match what I said. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to kill it. We're not even going to spin. The one that I picked off this list and the only person to say it was RX-1s. RX-1s said Keith Richards. Early on in this list. Keith Richards was the one I picked. The rest of you guys don't give Keith Richards enough respect. Okay? Keith Richards, that's correct. RX knows his greatest guitarist of all time. May I read the list of top 10 to you? Jimi Hendrix. RX, I was trying to get a spin-off, but you're the only smart one here. Okay? Jimi Hendrix, number 1. Eddie Van Halen, number 2, Kim. Eric Clapton, number 3. Jimmy Page, number 4. David Gilmour. Love that guy. Number 5. Stevie Ray Vaughan. You guys were all giving Stevie top nod. Stevie Ray Vaughan, 6/7. Saw a lot of slashers out there. Keith Richards, RX, you and me. We're the only ones that think Keith Richards is the best. Jeff Beck, number 9. And I could have faked a lot of you out with Chuck Berry, number 10. I did see one person say Chuck Berry. Okay? Toucan Chef doesn't agree with the list. That's what we pull up here. Let's move forward to our one other subject that I wanted to cover. Actually, it's 2. I want to cover 2. You guys are like, where's Kurt Cobain? No Muffin. You could put a lot of guys on this list that aren't there, right? Okay. You think my list is old, Penny? I just pulled it up, sweetie. I don't know. I just looked, what's the top 10 greatest guitarists of all time, and went with the first list I found. What does that mean? I posted that this morning on IG. I found this meme. One does not simply be helpful. It made me stop and think. What do they mean? Or how does that speak to me? I get it. You don't simply be helpful. I think helpful. I think the word should be helping. Be helping. The process of being helping will fill us, perhaps. Perhaps not. I wouldn't want that to be the goal. I don't care if I'm full of help. I'd rather be empty of help because I spread it all around. So, one does not simply be helpful. I'm learning a new vocabulary way to say this now. I'm not going to tell people, hey, be helpful. I'd say, hey, could you help? Be helpful. I don't want you to be filled with help. I want you to spend it all, everything you've got. I want you to be close to empty with help. So, just another way of looking at something. I really liked that meme. You aren't simply be helpful. And if you are helpful, if you do reach this status, I think you've been doing a whole lot of helping to get there. That's what I think. And I also think you guys know a lot about guitarists. Look at you guys talking about the guitarists. It's an interesting conversation, right? Who's the greatest guitarist, et cetera, top 10. And some of us would all have different lists. We'd have different people on that list. So that's pretty interesting in and of itself. Pops. Let's sermonize just a tiny bit. We have another giveaway, but I'm going to spend these 15 minutes. B says it's subjective to the reader. That's probably the neatest thing about it. Is how does it speak to you? Monica, you just nailed one of my favorite guitarists of all time, Joe Satriani. Satriani and Santana weren't on that list. They would be on mine, on my top 10 list. I would also have, to be honest with you, Frank Zappa. Frank Zappa would be on my list, right? Interestingly enough, if you guys listen to some Frank Zappa, wow, could that guy play a guitar, right? We forget now in the age of, like, here I sound like an old man all day today, age of modern music, of electric music. Did you see what that guy, the one-man band, did yesterday? He pushes a couple of things. He stands there and he can't sound like the whole band Santana now. Pretty crazy. Let's discuss the fourth agreement just a bit. We have about 12 minutes that we can hang out, that we have left to hang out here. And I want to talk about the fourth agreement, which is to always do our best. It's impossible. No, it's not. Kim, isn't Zappa's at the top of the list? Right? People forget how good Zappa was. And I don't even know some of the rest, because my music knowledge isn't that strong. I read more than I listen to music. I read a lot. Usually when I'm reading, there's some kind of white noise on TV in the background, like a Discovery Channel. Oh, what did RX win? Thank you, Mr. Phillips. I forgot to show you. Thank you for clarifying that. What did RX win? RX won. Thank you. I'm so sorry about that. RX won a 10-pack of Pops capsules. These are Ghost. Okay. And an eighth of ODPE. So we're going to send him that. We're going to send him the 10-pack and an eighth of ODPE. Hang around for the final prize of today, because there's something special in it, okay? RX is a guitar player. That's right, Sandman. I forgot about that. That's right, I forgot. Maybe RX should be on our top 10 list. Huh? Who was it? Is it Jackie's son? There's another great guitar player among us. On the second on the second giveaway, we're going to be including our little friend. Yeah, I thought it was Jackie, Matt. That's what I thought. We're going to be including our little friend in our second giveaway. So stick around for him. He lights up. He's a lot of fun. There he goes. Now he's all lit up. And he changes colors. He's a mood mushroom. So we're going to be giving that away along with other stuff in the second box. When you do your best, here's one of the things that you do. Let me ask you a different question. How many of us accept ourselves? How many of us say, man, I got to be better at this? I'm not very good at... How many of us are critical of ourselves? Maybe not on a regular basis, but I can be. I can be. I have to be honest. I can be critical of myself. It's easier to be critical of myself than it is of you. You know who I don't criticize? Truth. And it's hard sometimes. Brock, my son. I made up my mind like 4 years ago, a long talk with my sister. You don't criticize your dog, do you? Not that your kid's your dog, but if you wouldn't criticize the creature you live with, why would you criticize something that you made? You either accept them the way they are, or you avoid them. Our job, especially as a parent, is to really accept our kids. Let them know they're okay just the way they are. We spend all this time trying to change them, mold them, program them. That's destructive. It's really destructive. I made up my mind about 4 years ago, don't criticize him for anything. If you don't have something that would be an uplift, you don't say it. Have I been perfect at it? Probably not, but I'm goddamn close. I feel better for it. I'm making up for a lot of time as a parent that I didn't. But I don't care what the more I practiced it, I don't care what he says, what he thinks, what he wears, how he behaves. I don't care about any of that. That's all surface level stuff. The only thing that matters is the soul. Is he good? Is he hurting anybody? Is he taking stuff that doesn't belong to him? Is he creating drama and strife anywhere? Is he taking instead of giving? If he's doing she, him, they, if they're doing more giving than taking, then you've done your job. So you learn to accept your kids. That'd be beautiful, Sandy. That'd be beautiful. You learn to accept your kids. Damn it, just the way they are. You know who else you have to accept? Listen to that, Marilyn. That's so beautiful, Marilyn. I want to cry. Best thing I'm experiencing, Marilyn, I want to cry, is my children saying, thank you for changing. You think parents don't know? Your responsibility is acceptance, Vegas says. That's it. That's it. You did your job. You released them. You do not now criticize how they fly out of the nest. When you do, you're damaging them. And we're learning that about our kids, but do we do it for ourselves? That's the biggest one that we ignore, we criticize, we self-cut, we damage with food and alcohol and drug addictions and drama and gossip and all this pain and shit that we bring into our lives because we didn't accept ourselves. Because we didn't accept ourselves. RJ, you can forgive others a lot more than yourself. I get it. Me too. I said what I said I could do with Brock. I'm still working on mine now. I have to like myself just the way I am. Not, oh, I'll like myself if and when I get 16,000 followers. That's old Pop's thinking. I'll really like myself if somebody tells me I look good in my new suit. Well, I'm going to like myself a lot if I catch the biggest fish today. I'm always putting these things on me that, oh, if I perform and I meet this goal, I'll like myself. Every one of those is some kind of an outside of me goal. The inside of me goal is don't criticize myself. You know, most of us depressed people sitting around on couches, you know who we're criticizing most? We're not talking about Obama and Biden and Clinton. We're talking about ourselves. We're criticizing ourselves in our own brain. Oh, you should get up, but you're just being a big... And what's wrong with you? And if only you'd have done it. You're manufacturing that depression because you don't like yourself. I always got picked last. Nobody loves me. You're criticizing yourself. That is not the best part of you. When you do your best, you learn to accept yourself. You learn from your mistakes. You're responsible for them. You clean them up fast. Say, I did it. I'm sorry. How can I fix it? You can't fix it. Okay. Well, for you, I can't fix it, but I tried. I'm moving on. There are certain people you've done something to, you can't fix it. Oh, well. That becomes their problem now. You did your best. Or did you? If you did your best to fix it, make it up. Clean up your hot dog water stain. If you did your best, that's all you can do. Moving on. How many people had an amends list? How many people, when you'd approach one or two of the people on your amends list, they're like, I'm not having any of it. It wasn't about that guy. It wasn't about the amend guy. It was about you being willing to say, I messed up. Stand up. Take it. But the other guy, that's their problem. And it's nothing, not, oh, that's their problem. You're like, God, that hurt. Son of a gun. I wish that had gone better. It didn't. I did the best I could. I did the very, very best I could. Amendment doesn't mean conclusion. Amending is an action. It's an effort. Learning from your mistakes means one thing, that we practice. You can't even get upset that I had a mistake. That gives me practice. I want to get better. Sometimes I need more practice. Sometimes I have to do a better job of apologizing. Sometimes, guess what? Wives, we can apologize faster. Why did I say wives? I'm kind of being mean, but women tend to hold on to their anger a little bit longer than men. Just rando saying. You guys sort of can hold a grudge a little bit longer. You have to brood a little bit. You have to sit on the egg and think about it for a little while. The guy's like, but it's over. Come on, honey. I was like, no, I still need to think about this. Sharon's like, husbands. Relationships. It doesn't even matter that you got forgiven. What matters is that you apologized. Because you recognize you've made a mistake and now you're practicing doing your best. How many of us are practicing doing our best when we apologize for making mistakes? That's your best. Pretending it didn't happen, blaming it on the other guy, not learning from it, doing it over again. That's not your best. I would argue just practicing means you're doing your best. Very few people go to practice. I go to rugby practice and I'm just going to goof off. You know, the team wouldn't keep me on the team for very long. That guy comes to practice and goofs off all the time. He comes to practice and he puts out harder, more effort than anybody else on the field. That's what they used to say about Pops. He's not the most athletic, but boy, does he have a motor. He doesn't stop. That's how I made the team. When you go to practice, you usually are doing your best. Correct me if I'm wrong. Race car practice, oh, absolutely, much about the same thing. How much faster will this lap be than my last lap? How much closer can I get to the wall? What do I have to do? How do I have to change the tires so I can pick up another tenth of a second? Doing our best. Practice. You can't do your best if you don't practice. People don't wake up in the morning and go, today I'm going to be the best basketball player in the world and go out and shoot 10 three-pointers and hit them all. Doesn't happen. I don't know if it's ever happened in the history of mankind. It would certainly be like a lottery event. However, if that guy got up every morning and he practiced and he shot 10 three-pointers every day for the next year, I would argue he has a chance of hitting 10 in a row. He has a chance of nailing it, and it doesn't matter. What matters is how hard he practiced. He's a hell of a three-point shooter, I bet, even if he doesn't hit them all. Doing your best doesn't feel like work. Some of you love your job. You go to work and, man, you do your best. I love it here. I do my best work here. Some of you grumble all the way to work. I hate this, and I don't like my boss, and I don't like the foreman, and this guy, and this is stupid, and the project that I'm on doesn't work. And some of us do that, and we stay on that job, probably for too long. I would argue you're not going to do your best at that job. You don't like it. You're not going to do your best there. If you love your work, you're going to do your best. Sandman knows he did it for 16 years. Oh, Jesus, terrible. But he did it to support a family. He did it because the economy in the area, that was the best you could do. But guess what? I'm going to just say this for Sandy's sake. He's a growing man. He realized, you know what? I don't have to live that lifestyle of pure, everyday, unadulterated unhappiness to still find a way to be the father and a husband to my family. That's somebody doing their best. Doing your best doesn't feel like work because you enjoy what you're doing. You know you're doing your best when you're enjoying the action. I freaking love growing mushrooms. I don't know why. I haven't stopped. Every time I see a plate with Nor mycelium growing in it, it's still, years later, I still get thrilled. I never knew I'd be a mushroom freak and a mycelium nut. I love it. I do. And then I love the results. And then I love Tea Crew because of it. We wouldn't have a Tea Crew if I hadn't started growing mushrooms. growing a family, 17,000 people strong. I love it. I'm going to ask, how many people think Pops loves showing up to tea in the morning? Why do you think I can do it for 2 years straight? Because I love it. Do things you love. Find the things that's you. And do it, and do it the best you can. You do your best, why? You do your best, why? According to this guy, you do your best because you want to. Not because you have to. Because it feels better. If I didn't show up Saturdays and Sundays when we don't have our crew, I don't feel as good. I'm 9 o'clock, I'm walking around going, gosh, I'm going to miss an hour here. And then by 10, I'm like, oh, if I'd have just been at tea, that missing hour, I don't feel like I was doing my best. Usually I'm not on a Saturday and a Sunday. I'm sort of walking around going, oh, I do to fill this space and this time. And this is rando. I miss practice. I miss practice. I'm there because I want to, not because I have to. I have a grow house that's got so much going on because I want to, not because I have to. And my want to has turned into something pretty beautiful. You do your best because you want to do it, not because you have to. Listen, not because you're trying to please the judge. The judge that was programmed into you. Oh, if someone told me I have to do this and then that would be my best. Bullshit. I told Brock for years, if you do this, then you do that, then it'll be your best. When you own that company and you're doing it, that'll be your best. You know what's Brock's best? Not being criticized by his father. Being told you're okay just the way you are. You want to do more? Go ahead. You want to do less? Go ahead. No judge. Not because you're trying to please other people. That is not why we want to do our best. So we'll talk about that just a little bit more tomorrow. Okay? And then we will, tomorrow we're going to be talking about, get back into psychology, the 10 time-tested truisms. You guys, I ask you all to make a pledge to yourself. Make a pledge. The practice starts today. If you haven't been practicing as much as you can, start today. Practice with your wives and husbands and children. Practice doing your best. You know what the very best that you could do for them? Don't judge them. You want them to change? Then you be the example. You be the seed of change. You be the leader by example, not by words. You make it such that guy, every time he tells me he's going to do something, he impeccably does it. I need to be like that. I need to start practicing the same thing my dad practices. I need to start practicing the same thing my mom practices. I want to start practicing the same thing my husband does. Man, he's practicing being impeccable. How could I sit in front of him and tell a lie? You lift other people up to your level by practice. Not by criticism. Not by telling them what they did wrong. Not by pointing and blaming. let's do another final giveaway of today. This giveaway today is going to be fun. So I don't forget what it is. Let me show you. Let me show you what you're getting. You're going to get a Pops 10 pack. Oh, that wasn't it. A Pops 10 pack. You're also going to, this is for the winner. You're also going to get, this is maybe 2 or 3 grams of Hillbilly. It's not a full 8, but it's a sample pack of Hillbilly. You're also going to get this big pumpkin, Hillbilly pumpkin. And then I also want to throw in the old colorful, light 'em up shroom that has its own little special little box that it goes in. So this will be the last pack of today right now. How are we going to win it? I'm going to name a top 10 list. We're going to try what we tried earlier, okay? Which was, I'd like to get 3 people, with the first 3 people that answer correctly on my screen. Whoever answers correctly on the first 3 people that answer correctly on my screen will move forward to the spin to win round. Okay, so let's see if we can get 3. Here we go. The category, top 10. Now this is a list that I found online, and it's the list we're going with. Top 10 rock and roll bands of all time. Before we went lead guitarist, now it's groups. Top 10 rock and roll bands of all time. I'd like to get 3 of you correct. Okay? So far, Rolling Stones is absolutely on the list, but that is not the one I picked. Rolling Stones is number 1 on this list. Okay? Beatles is number 2. I didn't pick them either. Okay? Wow, I was looking for 3 and I'm not even seeing 1 yet. I haven't even seen 1 yet. I have not seen 1 yet. I might have to just go with the first one I see. This waiting for 3 of you RX doesn't work so great. Okay, I still haven't seen 1. Okay, now so far I've seen 1 person have it. If nobody else comes along, I'm going to have to go back and give it to that person here in a minute. Oh, we got a second one. Okay, we got 2. We have 2. We have 2. And let me get 1 more. Well, I'm just going to keep it open. If I have 2 so far that are correct, I'm going to go ahead and hope that somebody else can answer 1 more correct. Okay, there it is. I got 3. There it is. The first 3 on my list that I saw to say it were, let me show you. The answer that I had was Queen. Queen. Queen, Queenie, Queen. The Rolling Stones was number 1. Beatles number 2. Led Zeppelin number 3. Pink Floyd number 4. AC/DC number 5. Foo Fighters number 6. Red Hot Chili Peppers number 7. Metallica number 8. Queen number 9. Guns N' Roses number 10. Okay? The 3 that I saw that got it correct off of my screen was Big Al. Big Al, you're going to be the number 1. Big Al said Queen first. Then Lady K. Lady K came along the second, and she said Queen. Lady K, you're going to be the number 2. And then number 3, Frylock. Frylock got it. Those were the first 3 queens. So let's spin. It's looking like Lady K. Lady K. It's a Lady K day. Lady K, you saw what you won. I'm going to show you one more time. Your cute little shroom. You've got yourself a fruit. You've got yourself packages. You've got yourself packages. So Lady K, I need your address. The DetroitMushLab.net. If you can send me your address, I'll send this out to you, doll. Okay? Thank you. Thank you for playing. Give me 10 people. 5. Give me 5 people that thought our top 10 lists today were okay. Did we have fun with our top 10 list today? Pretty easy, not, huh? They weren't that hard to come up with answers. That was easier than coming up with like Kazakhstan and Pakistan and Olive Stan and Olive and Hardy and Olive, and yeah, that was a lot easier. Okay. You guys go have a beautiful day. I want to see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for answering that question. I want to see everybody here tomorrow. Same much time, same much channel. And I want us to all admit to each other tomorrow that tomorrow we can tell our homework that we spent yesterday. That'll be tomorrow, we're saying it. That we spent yesterday, that's today, practicing doing our best. We're going to practice. And you guys know something about practicing? Practice makes perfect. Have a great day, Greenie and Tin Can and D. Anderson and Ego. And Turtle Up and Sharon. Turtle Up was live today. Sharon and Satter Wolf and Spoonie. And MVP, I can't wait either. And Mushmouth, 29 days, Sandy. 29 days till I get the biggest hug. And I'm going to hug you and we're going to cry. That's going to be wonderful. B and Justin and Turtle Up. And Michael Brown and the American one. And Hank Derby Derb. And Jamie Ream and the Waz. Justin's Just Okay. And TM and Trippy Hippie and Liddy Ladran. Hags, I love you, Jim Partner. Sandman, Penny Pack, Nerdy Nature. RX, only 29 days, bro. Lady K, have a fabulous day. Turtle Up, Benny Ben. Sharon Sparks, Michael Brown, Bill. Durue, my West Coast pal. Jimmy Max and Joey Portunago and Mike Buddy Ball and Cleany and Saska Mojo and RJ Hasta Luego. Mushmouth, only 29 days. Laura, between you and me, do you think you could have a fabulous day? I'm making a divine one. Have a divine day. Glastron, MVP, Big Al, Frylock. Ooh, you were this close. MDK and Jesus Christ and Vegas love you. You know how I stay. MDK and the Waz and P and Mike Burry Ball and Frylock and Greenie and Alina. And Marilyn, man, we're telling the truth, aren't we, Marilyn? It feels good. Cap Dank and Jackie Cat and Jesus Christ in Australia. Jesus and Jay and MVP and Turtle Up and the Waz. Impending hope. How about abiding hope? How's that? Ladran and TM, Pops, Peace. Practice. Streety, we're going to practice. Oh, Streety. 29 days till we're cornholing. Get out of here. I mean, playing cornhole, Streety. Have a great day.